you would expect that we go with this one, HTML.class. You would expect us to do this, which is what you would have done prior to JAX-RS 3.1. And we still have hello world, there is no change. So if we want to trigger this, we should get rid of this string. Let's go with a record, for example. Let's say this is a greeting, and the greeting is this one. So we need a record. So we go with some text here. Now let's go with this one. Wow, it's working. Why is it working now? Maybe it was a bit quick what I did. We had string here, and if we are returning a string, then JAX-RS by default finds a packaged renderer which turns string into plain text, and this is automatically happening until you stop it. And to stop it, we are not returning a string, we're returning something that JAX-RS doesn't know. So it tries to find any renderer that is able to render a greeting, and it does that by exactly that method that I told you here. It finds all the filters and all the message body writers, and it passes in the type and it passes in the media type. If in case you don't believe, we can simply do something like this. Okay, so you get an understanding what is happening behind the scenes when you do this. So we open the browser, there's the rendering. So here you can see at the time of rendering, our method was called multiple times, and we were past the greeting instance and we were past text HTML. So that's what I said in professional code, you would check this. So we don't, because we don't have a need to here in our small example. Sorry, that was too much. So this is JAX-RS 3.0, but we want to go with 3.1. Why? Because rendering HTML is something, well, rather common. We don't want to render a specific UI for our application. We just want to turn any class into HTML. So I understand that the HTML that you see makes not much sense, but this is just an example. So in case we would write a generic HTML renderer for any Java class, then this would be the way to go. And now let's extract it from the application. And instead add another file. And this file is this one. It's called Jakarta WSRS core feature. This file is a marker that makes the service loader of Java aware of implementations of this interface. So this is the name of an interface that we implemented, and this is the name of the class we wrote, because this class implements this interface. So how is that working? First, let's see if it's working. Yeah, great. So it is working. That's a good thing. Oh, gosh. So why is that working? Because there is a new chapter in the JAX-RS specification which says that the JAX-RS runtime, so in my case Jersey, shall use the Java SE service loader API to scan the class path for this file. So whenever it finds this file, it shall load the class and register it. So the registration we did manually is replaced by an implicit registration. So you finally would ask, you did all that just to get rid of this? No, that's not the case. The case is not that my application is shorter. The case is that I said I want to write a rendering that would work with any application. So this is the big trick, that this feature here, which is a generic HTML renderer, is unaware of the class I have given to it and is unaware to my application. It is generally usable code. You could sell it, for example, on a marketplace. So what I wanted to show you here is how you can write renderers or other components or features that will provide a benefit to your application. You can give it away to others, and the others will have the same benefit in their application without, and now this is the most interesting point, without that component, that feature popping up anywhere in your source code. It only pops up on the class path. So what you typically would do is put this one in your in its own jar file. I wouldn't do it right now because it makes no sense. First, you know how to write second POM files to create second jars, and certainly the shading would return it in the original form, because shading puts everything in the same jar. So don't need to demonstrate that. Instead, let's add another feature, and the feature is that I want that when I have filled out the form, it shall send back the value into our JAX-RS application and change the rendered text. We're going with this one, quick fix, yeah, and replace this text. Okay, so now we get, if there is the greeting parameters, we get back the greeting, put a greeting in here, so we can modify it. Let's go. It's started, and let's open the browser. So there is no greeting currently. Let's call it hello, and you see it renders hello. Oh, goodbye. It renders goodbye. So this round trip is working rather easy. So what I wanted to show you until this point is, if you want to write microservices or small RESTful services, you don't always need to go with one of the big frameworks. You don't even need to go with an application server, even if it would be a small application server like Payara Micro, for example. You don't need it. If all you want to have is such small solution like this one, simply go with JAX-RS 3.1 with an implementation of 3.1 like Jersey 3.1, and you can simply configure everything using environment variables or properties. Simply start your application with a single line. You can get back the actual configuration. Just stop this, the process with kill -9, which is typically what you want to do in a cattle not cows environment, where you have multiple containers that you quickly boot up and shut down, and just kill it. No need to stop the framework in any way, shut down transactions or something, because we don't have transactions here. There's no database, there's nothing. So the application stays the same, and we have seen we can use, for example, the records, we can use the new setoff, we can use var, because this is Java 17. So in one of the next episodes, we will go deeper into that application and provide a bit more functionality and provide a bit more insights into modern Java features, and in particular JAX-RS 3.1 features. So far for today, I hope it was not too long. Well, maybe I split it in 2 parts. We will see in the final cut. And I hope you had as much fun coding as I did. And see you next time. Stay safe, and as always, party on.